Man, this takes me back to college. Anyways, this is actually not my first time doing this. This is I think it's like my third take now. I actually wanted to make this for a long while now. It actually was inspired from a little bit of a comment I was having with out-of-spec detailing's video involving with shampoo washing and rinses washing. He kind of had this little um, opinions about rinses washing, and he's got it. He has the right to do so, of course. I mean, everybody has their own right to the opinion, and that's a given, right? But then there was a moment where I had a comment, right? I put on my comment like, hey, I like to do a hybrid wash because it actually combines both aspects of things. A random commenter though then um, commented like, hey, doesn't that uh, just costs extra time to do so? Doesn't it ask for extra time, and therefore it's a little inefficient at that? And I found that kind of funny because that comment got a heart from Out of Spec Detailing. I forget the gentleman's name, forgive me, but it kind of goes against what he said in the video, which is about taking your time to make sure you're doing the job right. So it's like, well, aren't you about taking your time? Aren't you about putting extra time into it to make sure it's done right? Or is it something else? Where's your lane? Where's your goalposts? Which one is it? So I thought it was a little strange to see that happen. And it actually inspired me to kind of like formulate how to explain hyperwash in a way that hopefully makes sense to people as to why it exists. So today we're going to go over the PowerPoint sort of format video. So I know it's a little different from my other detailing videos, going over the process known as hyperwashing. Hopefully my face cam doesn't get in the way, but yes, I made this PowerPoint type of thing all on Google, so it's kind of cool. And it takes me back to the days of college where we did a lot of PowerPoints. And this was a time, but way before Chat GPT was ever a thing for anyone. I graduated 2026, or no, excuse me, 2016. So it's actually been almost 10 years since I've graduated from college, which is crazy. For those who are curious, I graduated from Cal State LA with a degree in graphic design slash um, graphic communications. So, anyways, um, we're gonna go over how does it make sense. That's the main question we are going over for this hyperwash. So the objective with the PowerPoint in this video is to understand why does it make sense. And I want to also make it clear that I'm not here to say this is the best process in the world or anything like that. We're not here for that. I'm not here to also say, this is the one to do, right? This is it. This is the wash process to do it all. Therefore, everyone should do it. We're not here to do that. I'm just here to just try to make sense as to why to do it in the first place. So, the agenda here is to go over Willis, trying to make a sense, explain what it is, break it down to two main components, at least, a brief how-to, the why, what are the other benefits to hyperwashing, and so, therefore, how does it make sense with all that being said? And of course, the conclusion. So what is hyperwashing? So this is a definition I kind of like mishmashed together from going through the internet and such like that. And basically, it is a washing slash detailing process that combines both methodologies of the car shampoo or snow foam at that, depending on where you're from, and of course the business wash. That's what it's really all about. The car shampoo. Okay, that's one of the one half of this hyper wash here. And the car shampoo is here to ensure you have that initial deep cleanse with that immense foaming action, the pre-foam. And I always say this before, the pre-foaming is actually kind of the first and most important step, in my opinion, because that is the point that the vehicle is at its dirtiest. And therefore, you're going to have to do a lot of work to get that all off without actually touching the vehicle first. And that is why the pre-foam is very important for that uh, job to be done right. So that when you go into the contact wash, you're not scraping all the dirt onto the paint. Therefore, that scratching happening with that marring after as the result of that. That is why, honestly, the pre-foaming step is my favorite part because it's just so satisfying to see all that wash off with that rinse, especially when all that chemical doing the work, you let it dwell, it just tackles it right with flying colors, especially when you have the right chemical to do so. Now you can do it, of course, with the car shampoo alone for the most part. Most other washes, especially if you do it often, you can just use the shampoo itself to pre-treat your vehicle, and it'll do the job just fine. But now, when you want a very deeper cleaning or great cleaning, using a dedicated pre-foam will ensure that, especially when you let it dwell for a good time. It's just for like 2 to 3 minutes. Again, just follow the instructions on the bottle, and that's pretty much it. A good example would be Bill Hamber's Touchless. It's a really good one that works and it's safe. Um, and it does a really good job, you know, getting all that crap off. Now, the second half of the hybrid wash is, of course, the versus wash, the new hotness, right, on the market over the years, and everyone's trying to get in on it. It is a great thing to have. It does have its place, of course, especially during the contact wash portion of the hybrid wash. The contact washing with this provides the effective and efficiency sort of nature of the rinse wash, thus skipping the second rinse before drying. Right, that's where the efficiency comes from. The effectiveness of the rinse wash really provides that insurance that, well, you're getting the rest of it off, especially with the film. Whatever's left on the vehicle, you're getting it off with that contact wash. After all that initial grit is kicked off of the vehicle thanks to the pre-foam and the first rinse. And then the rinses wash um, goes in for that safe contact wash thereafter. So now, what are the benefits to it? And of course, why? Well, the hybrid wash, as you are incorporating the foam is always fun. It's just, a fun time. It looks cool, looks awesome, looks dramatic, right? Um, but of course, it also provides, like I said, that pre-foam, the initial step, the sort of frontline infiltration on that dirt, grit, film, crap on that vehicle to get it all off. But while at that, you're having fun because it's foaming. It also provides the efficiency though, because you are incorporating the rinses wash into this. And with rinses washing, you are saving water no matter what, whether you are going to rinse off or not. At least the first rinse anyway. And therefore, you're just using the best of both worlds. Simple enough, right? When it comes to hybrid washing. That is why it's even a thought in the first place. Using both. And you're using the best aspects of both of these types of chemicals in your detailing. And of course, at the end of the day, it still cleans your car. You still come out with a damn clean vehicle for sure. like all other steps or all other procedures. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, and it is the sort of extra benefit that not a lot of people think about. And it is this, which is a self-serve car wash that you can find at various locations depending on where you are. It actually really shines here because, well, simple enough, it saves you water. So pretty much here, you bring your rinses wash chemicals in your own bucket, of course. You fill it up. You fill the bucket up at the car wash, right? And then you fill it up with your rinses wash, or your standard dilution, 256 to 1. And then you proceed with the foam from whatever is provided at the car wash. And then once you rinse it off, that's it. That's all the water you're gonna need, pretty much. And then you use the rinses wash to contact wash, and then that's it, right? Dry off all that stuff. So, yeah, basically, this is going to be the how-to for the hybrid wash. Pretty straightforward. So, step one, like I said, pre-foaming. You use a car shampoo for the most part. Dedicated pre-foam, like Bill Hammer touchless when it's really dirty. It all depends on your call. You let it dwell. You let it do its magic. After you let the magic happen, you rinse it off with a pressure washer or a garden hose. Simple enough. Whatever you have on hand that spits out water, you use that to rinse it off with. Step 3, you apply the rinseless. You use anything that can distribute your rinses wash. So it could be a garden sprayer, your IK sprayer, a detail keg. These are just examples. You can use whatever you can that distributes that rinses wash onto your vehicle. Now, of course, do it a little quickly because the rinseless wash can save your vehicle from getting those nasty water spots because of how rinseless wash is against pretty much anything in the water, including, well, the minerals. Step 4, you then do the contact wash, right? After you have that rinses on your vehicle, you then use your wash media of choice to clean the vehicle with that rinseless wash. So it could be a wash mitt, it could be microfiber towels, but usually for someone like me, I like using the sponge that's actually engineered for rinseless washing. So that way you have that uh, very much ensured safe wash without marring your vehicle, of course, after all the other steps have been done. After all that done, you then dry off your vehicle with the towel of your choice, and you're drying off the rinseless wash. So you're not drying off water; it's rinseless wash. Therefore, you have a much safer chance of avoiding water spotting. And if you do have spots, you can actually wash it off or clean it off really easily with whatever else, like a detail spray, for example, or what a little more rinseless, right? Now, the rinseless wash. Another cool thing about it is that it actually kind of provides lubrication, so that of itself can be used as a drying aid if you want. But there's always the option of using a little extra lubrication via a detail spray. And a lot of these detail sprays nowadays are kind of like crossing the line with sealants. So you can actually either use one of them, either one, and they'll provide you uh, not only the extra lubrication for insurance, but also the protection. So you're kind of like doing a two-step in one. So that's pretty cool, right? Of how and what we're capable of today in comparison to years ago. Step 6, of course, always is to enjoy your vehicle, especially when it's all shiny and clean. You look at it, you stare at it. All right. Now, with all that being said, let's not forget the wheels and tires, right? This one gets a little fuzzy, right? Because you can either use a rinse wash or foam wash. And when do you use it? You actually do your wheels and tires before all your paint, after your paint is clean, or maybe during. That's up to you. No one's stopping you. There's no law. There's no rule to. There's no like. There's nothing looking over you and being like, "Hey, you can't do that." No, you're not gonna get a lightning strike on you for doing either of these things. It is all up to you. You can be creative about it, incorporate it somewhere in your steps. I prefer to do it after just because I can kind of get around the overspraying. Um, and that's kind of how I've been doing it, honestly. So I'm kind of like very much used to doing it after doing the paint and such like that. So that's just how I do it. Doesn't mean you have to do it like that. You can do it before, you can do it during, even. It all depends. You can actually do it during the dwelling time, right? As soon as it's dwelling on the paint, you can use whatever's on the wheel and tire to brush and use the wheel cleaner of some kind, like a wheel brush or wheel barrel brush if you want to incorporate that, or wash mitt, whatever is safe for you, what you feel comfortable with. All right, now all that out of the way, how does it make sense, right? You know, um, while yes, the hybrid wash is using both, uh, chemicals and such, but because you're using both chemicals and that kind of feels extra, doesn't it provide therefore more extra work? Doesn't it demand for extra work? Well, I mean, that's a pretty valid question. You can't say when you're arguing against hybrid washing. All right, let's analyze it from a couple angles, right? Let's look at it from a hardware standpoint. So we have a list with between all the sort of typical wash processes. So you have the shampoo wash, you have the hybrid wash, of course, and then you have the rinses wash. Notice that they almost have um, pretty close commons, right? But there's also one outlier, especially from the hybrid side of things. But we'll get to that in a bit. So all these processes do ask for the applier. A sprayer, foam cannon, you name it, of some kind. Whatever gets on that gets the chemical on that vehicle first initially, that's what you need. So that's one piece of equipment. The next one is some sort of rinser. So that could be like your garden hose or your pressure washer. Both of these definitely ask for it, obviously, because you're using some sort of foaming chemical. But when it comes to rinses washing, you actually are flexible. You are free to choose. When you're rinses washing, there's you know it's not a law to not use a garden hose at all. You can use a garden hose. You can use a pressure washer. Whatever rinses off the vehicle, you can do that. You're just rinsing off once. That's still less than two. That's why it's called um, a rinse-less wash. Now, what a lot of people are thinking though is the no rinse, excuse me, the no rinse method, which is no rinsing at all, of course, simply put. That's I think a lot of people are getting that mixed with a rinse less wash. So try to think of it like that. I know like that wording has led to most people thinking like it's no rinse, or when it's like traceless, oh there's no trace, or when it's meatless, there's no meat in it, right? When it comes to that, yeah, you kind of want no meat, right? That's when it comes to food. You definitely are naturally more trained to think no meat, no gluten, no this, that, whatever. But when it comes to detailing, kind of want to put on a different thinking cap. So rinse less just means you're rinsing less. Even a touchless wash or Brohamber's touchless has a little dash with less, specifically saying you're touching less. of the vehicle. So that means you're not really like really trying too hard on the contact wash. The whole point is to make the contact wash easier, therefore touch less on the vehicle. That's the sort of gimmick or whatever, you know, the true meaning of those types of wording when it comes to detailing anyway. So they all, no matter what, ask some sort of rinser, right? I put a question mark right here because it is optional. Do you need to rinse off the vehicle? That's your choice. But now you start to notice something, right? This is where it gets a little interesting with hyperwashing, because you are using an applier when it comes to rinseless, right? When you're the hybrid wash, because yes, you are incorporating both chemicals, so therefore you have that one extra equipment in your list in hybrid washing, which is the sprayer for rinseless, or whatever it is. That is a one extra thing. But otherwise, you still have your wash application, which is the contact washing tool. So wash mitt right here, for example, wash mitt or sponge or whatever you want. But when it comes to rinseless wash, more likely a sponge or whatever you kind of want. But the sponge is a little more common. And then you still have the bucket, and then you still have the towel. Everything else, yeah, you can notice. Everything else is almost the same. You just have that one little extra equipment right there, and that's where maybe people start to question it. Like, is it worth it? Is it worth the hassle? I like to ask, is it really a hassle to have that one piece of extra equipment? I guess it depends on what you're using to distribute that rinseless. Is it like a big sprayer? Is it a small sprayer? It all depends on you, I guess. All right. Let's go to the next slide. Let's analyze from another angle, and that is the process of itself, right? The steps. From a steps perspective, let's see if the hybrid wash is so extra or not. So we do have, of course, just like before, the shampoo wash, hybrid wash, and the rinseless wash. And we kind of broke it down to these steps, right? Of the wash with pre-wash, rinse, contact wash, rinse again, and then drying. So first off, yes, the pre-wash gets all the check marks here. You definitely want to pre-wash no matter what you're doing, because again, that's the point of the vehicle being the dirtiest. So you kind of definitely want to get that chemical on there, let it do the work, and up next, though, you definitely want to rinse it off for both the hybrid wash and the shampoo wash. Rinseless wash, again, it really depends on how dirty it is. If it's just dusty, then you can proceed with the no rinse wash method. Or if it is a little dirty enough, it calls for a rinse, and then you can rinse. That's why I put a circle right there. You can or don't have to do it, right? You can proceed without it. You can proceed with it. There shouldn't be anyone yelling over your shoulder, "Hey, it's a rinseless wash, therefore you're not allowed to use a hose." That's not how it should go. Now, for the contact wash, of course, that's another 3 checks across the board. Y'all got to do the contact wash, man. It's pretty important. And as long as the vehicle is clean enough after the pre-wash and the rinse, should be safe enough. And then, of course, depending on how clean it was, or how dirty it was, or how lightly dusty it was, you can contact wash without the rinse, right? That's the beauty of rinseless. Now, when it comes to the second rinse, only the shampoo wash has the second rinse because the shampoo requires that. Whereas the hybrid wash, because it incorporates the rinseless wash, you don't gotta do it. Of course, rinseless wash, you don't gotta do it. Therefore, you actually have one extra step. So it's funny because we just talked about having one extra equipment, and yet the shampoo wash is the one that has all the steps. And when it comes to rinseless wash and the hybrid wash, you are actually one step less, right? which is kind of interesting. But of course, after all that, we still have the drying to do across the board. So now, yeah, now you can see you actually have all the 5 steps right here with a shampoo wash. This is why it's kind of old school, tried and true. It's been done for years and years and years. It works still, but it has its caveats. It has ups and downs, all that stuff, which is why the rinse wash seem like it's the newest fad. It's the new hotness, and then of course now when you're incorporating both of them, that's like the real futuristic stuff, I guess, by comparison, anyway. But yeah, you can kind of see. Versus wash definitely has possibly the least steps, right? So versus wash actually can be flexible between being really easy and just you know um quite easy. And then the hybrid wash kind of meets in the middle almost, at least in a way. So in conclusion, does hybrid washing make some sort of sense? I think it's pretty safe to say that it is a yes because of what we went over, especially by the time we went through the last 2 slides. While yes, we do have one extra little equipment, is it really such a hassle? I guess that's up to you. But that doesn't change the fact that you actually have one less step in the hybrid wash. So it all kind of balances out. So I think yes, it does make sense to do as a washing procedure, just like anything else. Now, does that still mean it is the best? Well, it always depends. It always depends on, are you set up for it? Where are you? What's your water like? Is it super hard? Is it super soft? Do you have running water? Do you have access to a gardening hose? Do you have a pressure washer? All those questions are, lead up to what kind of wash you're going and can do for yourself. If you have a garden hose or a pressure washer, yeah, you can do a hybrid wash or a shampoo wash. But if you don't have access to running water, then a rinse wash is a little more up your alley. That's all you can do really. Or yes, you can take it to the car wash, but that also has its caveats and catches, right? Uh, and then if you're planning to do a self-serve car wash, then perhaps try using the hybrid wash, especially because you're saving water still at the end of the day. But I think we can all collectively agree that no wash is the best wash. It all depends on you. You always make the call. That's the point I try to really emphasize too. It's not just the tools, it's not just the chemicals, it's the detailer, it's the man, it's the woman, it's whoever's detailing. That's, the important key thing about this whole process. It's y'all. It's you. Me, you, everybody. We make the calls, the chemicals don't do the talking. They're kind of just there to help us get through the process. But we're the ones moving the sponge, we're the ones spraying the water onto the vehicle, we're the ones applying the chemicals onto the vehicle. It's all up to us at the end of the day. So, it all is to say that the hybrid wash is here to stay, I feel. So, that is pretty much it. So, thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe really helps out, and I do appreciate it. So, that is my PowerPoint. That is my presentation on hybrid washing and how does it make sense. Do you have any comments? If you want to, give it a spin, let me know. Like, do you guys like hybrid washing, or you want to stick to your old guns? Hey, I get it. You want to stick to just rinse washing? Hey, more power to you. It's all about the beauty of being able to make the choice. That's what makes detailing great. Is that we can choose how we do our washing. You can't. Do you want to over engineer it? You want to have a Rube Goldberg kind of thing going on just to do the one thing that everyone can do, which is to have a nice shiny vehicle. Yeah, again, that's the choice that we can make here. Um, and of course, hyperwashing is definitely one of them, and it makes as much sense as any other method, must I say. So I will continue to hyperwash whenever I can. There are times where yeah, I'll do the old traditional shampoo wash just to relive the nostalgia, um, or just to try out certain chemicals and such. Same with rinses washing, just to try it out, just to see what is this capable of. You know, trying things out is always fun too. So hopefully you guys give hyper washing a try, and maybe it will become your part of your regiment and such. Um, Maybe it will become part of your repertoire. Um, but like I said, if you're not set up for a rinses wash, then the rinses wash is terrible for you. Same with the shampoo washer. If you're not set up for it, it's going to be a terrible time for you too. And it's the same exact thing for the hyper wash. It's going to be a terrible time, especially if you're not set up for it. We've seen it actually happen with a certain detailing channel, right? They usually do shampoo washes, but something happened and they had to resort to a rinses wash, and they were just so scrappy about it because they weren't ready for it. It happens, especially when you're on the field. Some things break, and you're gonna have to improvise, and it's not gonna go the exact way you want it to sometimes. But it is what it is. That's life. You gotta make it work, man. But yes, that's all I got, really. Thank you very much, and hope you all have a happy detailing. See you next time. Sean out.